Very often people ask me how I named my studio. As a kid growing up, my dad had a wood shop in the basement, and when he'd be making surprises or gifts or something, if you'd ask him what he was making, he'd say it was a fruit jar, and that meant don't ask any more questions, it's a surprise. I make lots of fruit jars. In my family, fruit jar is like a verb. So that's how I came up with the FruitJar Studio. And so I do all kinds of cool different things. My bird feeders kind of came out of, I live on a farm where we grow proso millet, which is what is mostly in bird seed. I'm like, I should make some bird feeders. And so I take old antique pieces and turn them into functional bird feeders, and people use them for bird feeders, or some people use them for candy dishes. I call them people feeders. I do all kinds of different fruit jar, what I call fruit jar things. I do a lot of jewelry. My dad was a locksmith, and so after he passed away, I got all these antique skeleton keys, like I should do something cool with them. So I do lots of them where I add hearts to them, and I call them key to my heart because, well, they are. I have two brothers that are locksmiths, so they stay on the hunt for me. So I have all these cool, authentic, real keys that have some story to tell, and so I tell it through jewelry. Lots of times people will ask me to do custom work where they give me the box of grandma's jewelry or buttons or something and say, make something out of this. So I do things like make cuffs out of old brooches. I take old broken rhinestones and repair them, and then I put a little blue heart on them, and I call them bride's bracelets. They get worn a lot for something old, something borrowed, something blue. I like doing vintage things, but I do all kinds of different. This one is 2 different pieces. I do probably as much custom work as I do it's all my original designs, but a lot of it is people saying, make me something out of this, and so I do that. I tell people if they're looking for something that everybody has, then they're at the wrong place, because everything I make is unique and different and pretty much one of a kind. I call it wearable art, because that in my mind is really what it is. I'm very, very fortunate to have access to cool little keys, and so I love imagining where they've been and what they've done and putting them together for people. So it is just so good for my brain to do creative things, so I love just making things. I'm a trained accountant, so then that always blows people's mind. It shows when I say, well, yeah, I'm actually an accountant, because they tell me how creative I am. I'm like, I'm an accountant, but I can't be creative at work, so I have this whole other side of me, and I think my brain works better when I get creative. And I'm hopeful that someday I'll, can just retire and just do fruit jar things. I think that would be fabulous. My investment person, we were talking about when I could retire, and he's like, well, would you work? I'm like, oh no. Would you work part-time? I'm like, oh no, I'm in a fruit jar full-time. That's